Hello, outdoor community. A couple weeks ago, I put up some swarm traps, and some of them traps I put up, I don't remember how many years ago I built them, but they're pretty old. And if you've ever set out a trap to catch bees, I mean, people use 5-gallon buckets. They use nuke boxes. I use a lot of nuke boxes because I got deer stands that I just set them in. I don't need the hangers and stuff on it. But any of the boxes, once you catch a swarm, you got to move them over to your hives. And I like to start my bees, whether it's a package of bees um, or a swarm. Now, if it's a huge swarm and it needs to go in a 10-frame hive, we'll convert it over to a 2-frame hive, a 10-frame hive as soon as we come back. The problem that I found with buckets or coolers or whatever, totes, you can use anything. If you can put frames in there and you can just move the frames of bees to your hive, it makes it a lot simpler. When you use a bucket, you gotta go in and cut all the comb and rubber band it to your frames, and that's fine. It works great, and I've done a lot of it, and it's not that hard. It's just really time consuming. And what I don't have this time of the year is time. So um, quick and fast is what I like to do. So I hung 12 swarm traps the other day. 6 of them was those swarm boxes, and 6 of them was nukes, double stack nukes. So I still have to, with the boxes, they're great. You go in, whether you put them in a nuke or you put them in a 10-frame or 8-frame or whatever kind of equipment you run. You just pull the frames out, shake the bees out of the box, or just set it in front of it and they'll march in if you get the queen in the hive. So I wanted to build a few more, and I was like, what would be the easiest way to transfer bees out of a swarm trap? So, me always thinking, I thought, I got these. I got 6 brand new nukes. I think one of them's had bees in it. It was a bottom board, entrance, um, a deep, a cover, an inner cover, and a lid. The metal style telescopic lid. So, what I chose to do instead of making my regular, this looks just like a swarm trap, only it's 2 pieces. This is the deep off of the actual nuke that I got. And then I took on this bottom and I just made a base for it to set in with the hanger. It's just an empty box. It's nuke size. It's made out of 1/2-inch plywood. Put a hole in the front with the little dial turn off. There's one up here and one over here, and that's just an empty box. And it's just 1/2 inch. These are 3/4 inch boards here, but they set right on top. I had to backspace my hanger so my lid would fit up here at the top. So now my nuke box that's right here on the top, just like that. If you level it up, it fits perfect. Okay, so I got the lid. I got the inner cover, just like your nuke. I got my 5 frames in here, and here's the gold one right here. This is my old bird frame. That's the one that goes right in the dead center. The other ones are just foundation and empty. You put that on there. You put that on like that. You hang it. Now what I do up here on this one, I have a strap. I don't know if you can see it, but I just got a strap, ratchet strap. Got the whole thing ratcheted together so it can't come. So it's basically just one unit, just like my. But here's what I like about it. I mean, it's the same, basically the same size as my swarm traps, only it's 2 pieces. And when you put a strap over it, ratchet it down. It keeps it all sucked together. But when I catch a swarm, what's going to be nice about this is I just go to my bee, take the whole swarm trap, go to my bee yard. Here's the bottom board that come with the nuke. I'll turn you down a little bit so you can see it. Whoa. Okay. Here's my bottom board. Here's my entrance reducer. You know, you can block it off. But anyway, when I get to the bee yard, I just set my bottom board out on one of my stands. I'll take this here, unstrap the strap off the top of it. I'll just pick this box up off of that, set it right on here like that. And the bees that are still left in this box, I can either take the lid off and shake them in there and put it on, or what I would probably do is I'll just take and turn it around, set it up on something, you know, lay it backwards like this, and they'll crawl right in. If the queen is, which the queen should be up on the frames, I doubt she'll be in the box. They would just march right in. Then I can just take and I can grab another nuke box, an empty nuke box, and I can just set it right on top of my base here. So I'm gonna say I'll keep using my other swarm traps, but when they finally dilapidate enough and I need to replace them, this is probably what I'm gonna go with, because this is there's no, you don't move frames. You'll just, not that that's hard to do. It's just, you'll just have to take the box off and set it on your deal, and whatever bees are still in the box, you can shake them out or just set it in front of it and they'll crawl out. You're done. That's how you'd transfer it. There's no rubber banding comb. There's no nothing. And you know, I have a lot of nuke equipment. So I was actually going to use nuke boxes to make this bottom one. And I was like, no, because I can build this for about $6, but I can't buy a nuke box, the 3/4 inch pine nuke box. I can't buy it for $6, but I can build one out of 1/2 inch plywood for about $6, probably cheaper than that actually. So it was just, I don't want, I can't use this box because it's got this hanger on it and it's on there really tight because, it's going to hold some weight. So I can't use it. So I thought, well, I'm not going to tie up a nuke box when I can make one out of 1/2 inch plywood. So anyway, guys, that's kind of the project I've been trying to get done between working and fishing. And I'm going to try to get these hung probably. Well, I may not this weekend. It's Easter, so I got work tomorrow and I got work Saturday, and it's Easter Sunday. So hopefully, maybe the first of next week, I got 6 of them, so that'll give me 18 swarm traps that I've got up. Now my other nuke boxes, they're just like this, except it's actually 2 nuke boxes, and they've got my nukes, that the swarms that Norton nuke that I use, it's just 2 double nukes. I screwed the bottom on those. Those are just some cheap nukes that I made. They don't have the fancy joints in the corner. They're just screwed together because I just use them for swarm traps. I don't really use them in the bee yard, and not that they don't work, but I just screwed the bottom to those, and I made those because I set them in deer stands. I set one on an old washing machine out of my dad's junk pile. I probably won't replace those because those are nice. What I probably will do is take and put my nukes my boxes that I actually use, like these on the top, and put those on the top of those boxes. That way I can do the same thing and just drop them on there, because those are pretty chintzy nuke boxes. I made them just for swarm trap nukes, not really for nukes. I'm not even know if they line up with these or not. So anyway, guys, just remember, if it's in the outdoors, you might catch it here. Y'all have a good day and God bless.